What's up guys, Brendan Hancock here with another episode of Evanston Subaru Today, and today we brought along two 2021 Subaru Crosstreks. These just hit the lot, and today we're going to focus on the two different engine options that are available on the vehicle. Over here we have the 2.0i Premium, and over here we have the Subaru Crosstrek Sport. Now, why are we comparing these two vehicles? Now, for the first time ever, the Subaru Crosstrek for 2021 is coming with two engine options. Now, it does depend on which trim level you get. So for the base and premium trims, the 2.0i. And on the sport and limited trims are gonna come standard with the 2.5i engine. So let's go take them out on the road and see which one is right for you. All right, so right now we are behind the wheel of the 2021 Subaru Crosstrek Premium. Now this is gonna come with the 2.0i engine that we've had for the last couple of years since the redesign in 2018, I believe it was. So in 2018, they made some modifications to the previous 2.0i liter engine, added a little bit of horsepower. Obviously it was on the new global platform, so it was much quieter. They've updated a little bit of the transmission a little bit. So overall, it made it for a much smoother, quieter, more comfortable ride. Now, this one's still gonna have the same 152 horsepower, same transmission and everything. So they really haven't made a lot of changes to this trim level. Most of the changes they made to this one are gonna be aesthetic, new grille, new wheel design, a couple mild things, but not really a big change in performance. So we're looking at around 152 horsepower. In terms of fuel economy, very fuel efficient. We're looking at 33 on the highway and 28 in the city. Not bad for a crossover SUV with 8.7 inches of ground clearance. And overall, my driving, experience so far, I would consider what we're doing right now, city driving, just kind of some back roads, things like that. But once you're up to speed, it's pretty smooth. Now, in terms of its flooring it, getting onto the highway at super fast speeds, no, this is not a WRX, but you will certainly get up to speed without struggling too much. So let's just give it a little bit of gas around this corner here. You get peak torque pretty low, so I'm up to, already up to 30 miles an hour. So it does a good job of getting you around town. You don't feel by any means like a speed demon. I think if you're someone who's driven sports cars and stuff like that in the past, you probably want a little bit more. And then on the other hand, you've got people like my mom who would drive this and be like, whoa, it's too zippy. So I think it's definitely a good fine medium in terms of its fuel economy. I think most people are gonna like it. I mean, the Crosstrek has had this engine and had this transmission for a while, and it's been selling like crazy. So clearly people love it. Now this specific engine option, which is really what we're focusing on here, this is gonna be the standard engine. So on the 2.0i, whether you get, which is the base model, whether you get it with a manual or a CVT, it's gonna have this engine. The premium trim level, same thing. If you get it with a manual or a CVT, it's gonna have this same engine. Now, where you get the other engine option is in the sport and limited trims. So there's really not a lot of mixing and matching. It really kind of depends on what trim level you're gonna get as to which option you're going to get. And obviously, the higher trim levels that come with the bigger engine are gonna cost a lot more. I mean, you're looking at, a base you can get in the low to mid 20s, whereas, the sports and stuff, upper, 20s to low $30,000 price point. So really, budget is gonna come into play there. The other engine does have a 30 additional horsepower, 20% more torque, and it does have a refined CVT that they've done some work to. They've also refined some of the final drive ratios as well, which kind of gives it a little bit of a smoother take on it. I want to see too if that auto start stop. I don't think it's going to do it because we're a little low on gas, but I did notice a little bit of a quieter engine shut off on the Crosstrek Sport when I was driving it earlier, and I don't think that really was what did it in terms of how loud it was. But let's go take another spin in this Crosstrek Sport with the larger engine and see how it compares. So right now we're behind the wheel of the all-new 2021 Subaru Crosstrek Sport. Really what we're focusing on in this video is the difference between the two engines. So the other one that we drove, the Premium, has the 2.0i engine that we've been seeing for the last couple of years. Since 2018, we've seen that specific engine in there because they did do some changes to it in 2018 when they put it on the new platform. Now this engine is the 2.5 liter Boxer 4, not entirely new, but we've seen this in it's the current engine that's in the Outback and the Forester. The Outback, at least when it's not turbocharged. But it produces, quite a bit more. I mean, the 2.0i engine is producing 152 horsepower, and this engine is producing 182 horsepower. So, I mean, that's a pretty big increase. And you also get a 20% increase in torque. So it's definitely much bigger. I wouldn't describe the Outbacks and Foresters as being super peppy when they have this engine, but they also weigh a lot more. They're much bigger cars. So when you put, the same engine in a big car and the same engine in a small car, guess what? In the small car, it's gonna go a lot faster. Let's get a little bit of boom. Here we go. Boom, boom, 30, 40, boom. There we go. That is the speed limit, my friends. So that's where we're gonna stop. But definitely gets up to speed faster. I mean, a lot of people have been begging for more power in the Crosstrek, and this is certainly welcome. Would I like to see a turbo, option with 268? Yeah. I'd also like to see a 400 horsepower option, but I don't see Subaru doing that anytime soon. This, I think, out of the two, definitely performs quite a bit better. And I think, for most people, I mean, we look at the Crosstreks and how they've been selling, and they've had the 2.0i engine this whole time, and they've been selling like hotcakes. So it's not like, clearly it's not a problem for most people. I tend to like a little bit more performance, and I think this really does deliver. Now, the engine is not the only thing that they've done. They've also kind of refined the final drive ratios as well. So I think that's part of the reason. One, it's definitely getting a little smoother with the modifications they've made to the CVT, only on the Sport and Limited trims. Now, I may have said in another video that I thought perhaps they did it with all of them. It's just on the Sport and Limiteds with this new engine that they did that stuff to the CVT. So it is definitely smoother. I also think that, part of that stuff might be because, or why the 2.5i actually gets better highway mileage is because of that stuff they've done to the transmission. It might also be because it doesn't have to work as hard, to get up to those higher speeds. So this actually gets better fuel economy. It's 34 on the highway, 27 in the city. The 2.0i engine is 33 on the highway and 28 in the city. So overall, though, they're basically the same. So obviously, these are coming on the higher trim level options. This is only available on the Sport and Limited trim, this 2.5i. So those are higher trim levels, meaning it's going to cost more money. However, if you're someone that's looking at, for example, a premium trim level that's got, or that that has a lot of those extras like the push button start and things like that you've added to it, it's pretty close in price point, at least to the basic option package for the Crosstrek Sport. We're talking within $1,500, $2,000, something like that. So if you, in some cases, they might even be almost the same, especially if you're adding a lot of stuff like a moonroof. So I would say if you are within that range, like within the $2,000 range, and you feel that perhaps it's lacking a little bit in performance, I would 100% drive the Crosstrek Sport, at least the basic option package. You can get things like a moonroof and the bigger screen and things like that on the Sport that push it up another $2,000, but you can get pretty close in price with this option package of the Sport without those things that still give you push button start, still give you the StarTex leatherette material that's super water resistant, and within a pretty comparable price option. So for those people, if it was my money, I would go with the Sport. I also think it looks cooler. But definitely, I would think, the Crosstrek's an amazing car. I absolutely love it. I love both of them. I like this one more with the extra power. But I would definitely suggest getting out there and driving the Crosstrek. I would drive the 2.0i first. If you're going to drive both, drive that one first, then try the larger one and see which one's right for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys found this to be helpful. Now, for more helpful videos like this, subscribe to our channel. And if you liked this video specifically, make sure to give us a like below. Now, to check out our most current inventory for both new and used Subarus, visit our website at evanstonsubaru.com. Until next time, see you later.